We've got a overall combined number one. Owen, I'll let you tell the people.
Yeah, it's Joe Alt from Notre Dame, 6'9", 321 pounds. Just an absolute mountain, and one of the youngest players in this draft. Also, a former tight end, which gives him the athleticism to underpin his game. Um, Massive build, hulking tackle, just a huge size, massive length. I think there's just a really high floor for Alt when he makes it to the NFL, because he can just do everything to such a high technical standard. Um, he's a technician, and there's no doubt about it. Um, Great strength profile paired with it, and he's got really good body control. He understands that he's tall, and he knows what he needs to do to mitigate. Right, you'd think it would mean that he played high, but it doesn't. He gets deep into his stance, and that lower half then allows him to maximize his strength and use it to utilize, sorry, and use that size to his advantage rather than um, it be to his detriment. Because a lot of players would be playing far too high, but the fact that he can dip so low and then jump out and use that length and the explosiveness to his advantage, I really liked. Anchor, really powerful, sturdy base, sets him up perfectly to deal with power rushes, to take on the contact and pass protection. Quick and agile kick slides. They're not the biggest of slides considering how tall he is, but that's absolutely fine because you don't want him covering too much ground because you'll set it too deep. In fact, as we were speaking about with some others before, strong hand strength, grippy grasp, just a brawny blocker in the run game. He gets to his spot almost every time moving upfield and covers that ground quickly. There's just not a lot of weaknesses for me. The weaknesses probably come from, let's say, what he doesn't give up leverage often because of he can get deep in his stance, but when he does, it's probably because he was just a little bit too high on that down, if you like, because players, I guess, the smaller and skinnier rushers um, can just get underneath him at times, but everyone's going to be beaten a bit on tape. They're the type of rushers that cause him the most problems. I found kind of the twitchier, smaller athletes, but it can just get him a little bit off balance. But and I don't think he had the kind of nasty mauler mentality in the run game, which I don't really have a concern about. But it was noticeable after, when you're watching these guys back to back, that some of the others seem to really love the almost trying to knock someone out. It was like, no, I'm here to do a job, and that's it. I don't think he kind of had the knockout punch in him in the run game, which I say I'm not really bothered about, but was noticeable. And say most of the weaknesses I found came against shorter and leaner rushers, because he isn't necessarily the most flexible, but he's also unbelievably flexible for his size. If that doesn't contradict what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Joel, obviously you've covered a lot there, Ryan, is number one for me as well. I think one of the words I have to describe Joel is discipline.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very disciplined in what he does, and that maybe comes into what you're talking about. He doesn't need to play a knockout punch at
Yeah.
6'9". He just needs to move that guy out of the way so his runner can get past him. Again, that he really, really gives up penalties as well. He's so calm and understands what he's doing. He's definitely worked on that flexibility, because if you watch him in 2022, he was a bit more of a waist bender. He
Yeah.
definitely sinks lower into his hips now, and he does have a bit more of a kick out on that kick slides than he did. I think he mirrors really well for someone his size. He's got arm extension. Obviously, he can extend those arms out. He's so big, but his hands are also fast as well. As a run blocker, he sustains those blocks. He's not putting someone into the ground and burying them 6 feet under, but he's shifting them and he's continuing to work at it. He has got a really explosive first step for a guy his size. He understands and picks up changes in the defense. He can understand what's coming at him. He's got a quiet confidence about him as well. He just knows that he's a good football player. He's not one of these guys, I think, that's going to be in your face a lot, chippy at people, but he's just, I'm here to do a job. I'm the guy, you've got to beat me. I think he's just pro ready, put him in an NFL offense now. He's good to go. I don't think you're going to have to be worrying about Joe Alt. Yes, he's young. He's going to make mistakes. Every offensive tackle is going to make mistakes. But I don't think he would give you the worry and the fear that some of the other guys might do if you was just to put him out tomorrow and say, you're going up against a good edge rusher in this league. See how you get on. You're confident Joe Alt's going to do a job for you. And for me, he's definitely the top tackle. How high can he go, I think, is going to be limited by other positions because we're going to get runs on other positions. It might drop Joe Alt a little bit, but is he going to get much far out the top 10? I don't think so.
No, his NFL bloodlines there as well, right? His dad was a draft pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. First round pick was in 1984, and is in their Hall of Fame. So if that's anything to go by, then he's going to be one hell of a player.